to move things along as far as expanding a universe and expanding an IP, we've spoken multiple times in terms of gaming in regards to Bleach, the anime, and how Bleach, out of the big three, seemed to have been suffering the most when it came to, like you said so many pods ago, the properties that keeps the franchise alive. Right? For Bleach, we had a couple of mobile games and new artwork that would drop. The Thousand Year Blood War arc really was the thing that kind of breathed new life into Bleach. And now we got the announcement of a game, and not just any game, a console game for Bleach. It was announced at Anime Expo, trailer dropped and everything. They're working with the author Tai Kubo to make this game happen. It's confirmed that it's covering up to the Arrancar arc where they steal Aizen for the first game. What do you think? How do you feel about that game?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I feel like, Bleach has been missing from the video game scene on this level for a while. And, it really makes sense, man, because they know, all right, this particular, part with the Quincy's and stuff like that is going to come to a real big grand conclusion. And they know the people are going to want to get their hands on something more. It's just that overall, now I want to play Bleach. I want to play something that is available. So this just aligns up very, very well. It really does. And it was a very, very nice surprise. Where they left off, I'm a bit about it.
What do you mean?
So you said there is leading up to Waco Mundo, right? Where it's where they seal Aizen, or when they just get to Waco Mundo?
No, where they steal Aizen. So the 3 confirmed story arcs they're covering for the game is Ichigo's birth of his powers, the rescue Rukia arc, and then the full Arrancar arc from going to Waco Mundo to defeating Aizen. That's going to be the first game's content.
Thank you. That is a great point, man. I feel like that is very great because, all right, when you look at it, it's similar to how, when most Dragon Ball Z games come out, they go from the Saiyan Saga to the Buu Saga. And I feel like that with Bleach, that is the standard, bro, because when you look at all the other stuff, bro, all that stuff was filler. All that stuff was filler that adds nothing to the story.
That's fair.
So I do feel like, having that particular focus, it's good. Especially, when the Soul Society arc comes along, that's basically the tuning exams of Bleach. So you're going to get a lot of variety of captains, lieutenants, third and fourth seats. But you already know who the main one's going to be. And then, of course, the next level of variety is, of course, the Arrancar arc, because it's yes, you're going to get the Espada. You're going to get maybe 1 or 2 of their lieutenants, just because, yes, especially when you got characters like Uryu, Chad, Renji, Rukia, they fought some very pinnacle people on that side.
Yeah.
Now, being an arena fighter, I'm just concerned, all right, well, how is this roster going to look?
That was gonna be my follow-up question. Do you feel because what can they do for an initial roster, right? You have to, even if you were to say okay, I want to do the quote unquote bare minimum of the roster, everything you just listed, I'm already in my mind thinking 25, 30 characters out the gate. Yeah. It's 13 head captains. Ichigo squad of 4. They've already confirmed what's his name? Urahara. They've confirmed Yorichi. I'm bro, and that's without Aizen, without like you said, without the Arrancar and the Espada. I mean, you're probably not going to put all of the Espada in there, but even if you put 8 in there,
actually, it depends. You already know Ukiura, Grimmjow, Holly Bell, Stark, Berrigan. You already know, especially them real big climatic battles. They're going to be in there now. The guy who turned into a pumpkin and the one who took the face of Rukia's old friend.
They might have to put them in the game, bro.
Yeah.
Those are, like you said, those are pretty significant fights.
And of course, Noritora, because that fight with him and Kenpachi, of course, it's yeah, bro. I would say probably max 35 characters.
Out the gate for a first game?
35, yeah, bro. I mean, you're gonna have to put some Tekken elbow grease into that. You're gonna have to give us like 35.
Yeah, that's. I guess in terms of like as we're watching the trailer, like they've already kind of confirmed some of the game modes as far as like there's going to be in-game transformations. Of course, some characters will release their Shikai, some characters will release their Bankai. I'm sure that we'll get at least 3 different Ichigo because we're going to have obviously the Ichigo that apply to that time, so to speak.
3 Ichigos. I think that's fair because you got the big Bustus Cloud Sword Ichigo, and then of course you got the slimmer one where it was like a sleeker look. When he went to the Soul Society, I feel like that. Then with the Soul Society one, they could just give him a Bankai transformation, technically.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Arrancar arc, it's kind of more of an aesthetic, I would say, because that's when the mask got more markings.
Yeah. But I feel like that one they would have to make like a Bankai base roster Ichigo for that, because like you said, his transformation would be the mask. Like it would have to be the mask.
And then maybe whatever awakening, probably the Vasta. Oh, actually no, bro. You would need 4 Ichigos because you're gonna need the final.
Oh, the final Getsuga. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you would need like 4 Ichigos, bro. Because I was saying the third one, the awakening could probably be the Vasta Lorde mode. And then it's like, but then that last one with the longer hair, and then it was like attached to his hilt. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, bro, you're gonna need like 4 Ichigos.
Yeah.
Gee.
I know Jory had a different opinion in the chat, but for me, I don't have an issue with it being an arena fighter personally. Like, I think arena fighters with anime properties have gotten a really bad name because they're usually used as a cop out to be lazy. To be fair, right? Yes. Like, we've seen them be very, very like lackluster. The Jujutsu Kaisen game being a perfect example. Like, you guys just literally slap these characters together with bare bones mechanics. It was like, oh, a Jujutsu Kaisen fighting game, So it's like, is there? Given, I think it's Tamsoft, I believe they said, that's developing it, who has been known and proven to make solid, competent arena fighters. Do you have any like hesitation about it being an arena fighter? Does it make sense for a Bleach property?
No, because it's going to be a fighter. It's going to be an arena fighter. I do feel like making it an arena style opens up for different levels of combat, because I see they have sky battles. Or like, parts where you could just elevate and stuff like that. I do like that. Because I think the last best Bleach games, I think it was like Heat the Soul.
Heat the Soul on the PSP.
Those were great games, but those were more like level across the screen fighting. It's like Budokai style. Excuse me. So I don't have any reserves that being an arena fighter. I do feel like that opens up more opportunities for, because remember in Bleach they also use magic. Yeah.
There's a lot of long range abilities in that game.
So everybody's kind of like a mid to like zoner type of character, so to speak. So I look for it. I'll give it a chance, bro, because I do feel like they're gonna try to be banking off a lot on this. So because this is the first time Bleach game has been out for a while.
I think it's the first console game in 13 years, from what I heard like a YouTuber say. Like, it's the first console Bleach game in 13 years that we've had. Everything else has been mobile games. Yeah,
you already know which DLC around the corner.
What? Which you think is gonna be? It won't be 1,000 Year Blood War arc, bro. That's a perfect lineup for a sequel.
Sequel or DLC, depending. I would bank more on a sequel.
Yeah.
Due to there was a lot of stuff that occurred in that game, because it's kind of like, and it would also be better because at least you'll get updated forms of characters without rehashing all those other old versions.
Yeah. To me personally, I think the DLC for this first game should just be the movie characters, to be honest with you. Like I was saying in the chat, I think.
Oh, what about the Fullbring arc, since that technically is not filler?
That could be a DLC for this game. I just think the Fullbring arc, it's so wonky because technically it's a time skip, but it's not quite the full time skip of the 1,000 Year Blood War arc. So I'm like, the Fullbring arc should maybe be the intro for the second game, as opposed to, because like you said, at that point, you gotta do at least a new costume for Kenpachi. You gotta do a new costume for Hitsugaya. Like, these characters have different. You have to update their looks. So rather than go, make a whole new model for a character, it's like, save that for the second game. Give us, like I said, the Hitsugaya's best friend that also used the Ice Dragon from the movies. The guy that was trying to escape hell that, from the fourth movie. Like, just give us those villain characters, give us those like hero characters from the movies, and just call it a day. Like, the Bleach movies overall have been regarded as like pretty good when it comes to anime movies. Like, they're not like amazing, but like they're solid. Like, they're better than Naruto movies for sure. And I'd say like that would be a good well to pull from, at least for the DLC for this game. And I'm sure, like you said, a game that's going to need at least 35 characters, let's be real, we might get 30. So there's going to be characters that they're going to have to make DLC regardless to put in the game, because there's just, how do you get, again, 13 captains, at least 8 Espada, Aizen, this character, like 4 Ichigos. It's like, that's a lot of characters to put in one game. So, how does this make you feel in terms of like just the revival of Bleach, like Bleach the IP? Do you think this is the proper rollout to kind of begin again in that content for that for this franchise?
I think it's good, man. I really do. Yeah, it really is, man. Because like I really felt that Bleach was abandoned like after like the original anime.
For real.
It was like, bro, like, so the full bring arc, that's just it.
Y'all going out with this?
It's like, and then when you're reading like the manga, it's like, bro, Grimjow comes back, all this other stuff happens, and it's just like, nah, bro, there's no way we just about to go out like that. So I'm happy that they're doing the honest work. I'm very, very happy about that. I really am.
Okay. I mean, I kind of share the same sentiments. I know, like, people are looking for the discourse with us on the podcast. I'm like, I'm in agreement. I think that Bleach was kind of done dirty out of the original big three. I don't think it got at least the send off that it needed when it came to some of the open threads. And it's just like, bro, yes, I get it. It was probably the least popular between Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't good. Like, it's not one of those things where it's like, bro, we're not talking about, and respectfully, we're not talking about like a fairy tale or like a Seven Deadly Sins where like it has a very niche audience. Like, Bleach was extremely popular. Those characters, people still love those character designs to this day, right? Like, Kenpachi is like an archetype in shonen now of like, when you want to show power, this is how you introduce a character. Like this, he's like the anime version of the Hulk, basically. Right? Yeah. So like, I think Bleach trailblazed a lot of things. People have said it all the time. Jujutsu Kaisen is heavily inspired, whether they want to admit it or not, from Bleach. It's obvious. You could even argue Demon Slayer was heavily inspired from Bleach. Like, just the whole concept of swords having different techniques. So.
Or and the fact that you're fighting at night a lot.
Yes. Yep. Night creatures. Yep. That someone see our ghosts or spooks or goblins. It's like, I wonder where you drew inspiration from that.